especially because we're having the sun backlighting from. Alright, so this is going to be the very last chapter of Cinderella Phenomenon. So it's Waltz's Route, Chapter 10. And Waltz's Route is in story order, the last route in the series, and so this is the last chapter of the series. I have some plans for after this I will talk more about at the end of the stream. Although, in the very short term, I'm just going to be using this time period to go back to more Scarlet Hollow streams. But I have some additional future plans that are... The main thing I do plan to do after I've finished all the playthroughs I want to do of Scarlet Hollow is I do plan to move on to Arcadia, finally, which is kind of a cool action-y mostly visual novel. But that might be waiting till May, because I will be taking all of April off. But yeah, so but that is for future times. For now times, we have this story. So, Chapter 10, The Brightest Star. Also, I'm gonna just briefly adjust my chair. When I enter the room, Mother is the first person I see. She is sitting so regally on the throne, but as I draw closer, I notice how pale she has become since I last saw her. My gaze shifts to Waltz, who is kneeling beside her like a loyal servant, a rope of light binding him in place. Lucette. Waltz! Waltz. Lucette, you shouldn't have come here! Mother flicks her wrist, tightening Waltz's bound. I think that should be bonds. Hildir. Hush now! My mind is racing as I desperately try to conjure a plan. Lucette, thinking to herself. If Waltz has yet to escape, it must be because his bindings are stopping him from using his magic. If I can just break Mother's concentration, perhaps I can free him. But how do I do that? A terrible pain travels through my chest and makes my heart throb. I put a hand to my chest and grimace. It feels as if some part of me has suddenly been severed. Lucette, thinking to herself. This feeling, could it be that the shield I built around the palace has been destroyed? Hildir. Oh, it seems like we have visitors. Lucette. Visitors? The door flies open and Parfait suddenly walks in, face stern. Delora strides in beside her. Lucette. Why are you here? Everyone outside... Parfait. Is safe. Garland, Jurian, and Karma are doing their best to evacuate them to their homes. They will be safer there. Delora. And then there's you. You did a very foolish thing, striding in here on your own. Lucette. Silence. Hildir. How sad. I had expected there to be more reinforcements, but it's just you two. Parfait. We don't need an army to stop you, Hildir. Mother's lips curl into a tight frown. Hildir. Bold words. But might I remind you that I am the one with the hostage? If I see any of you move a finger, I will end this boy's life. Mother turns to me once again and snickers. Hildir. And I'm pretty sure my daughter here wouldn't like that, would you, love? Lucette. Silence. My eyes meet Waltz's. He shakes his head at me, eyes gleaming with insistence. Lucette, thinking to herself. No doubt he'd want me to put myself over him, but I came here to save him. No matter how much I try to think myself out of this, it seems impossible. Lucette, thinking to herself. In the end, I am still weak. I am still useless. Hildir. Now, where were we? Delora. Lucette, don't do what she says! The rest of Delora's words become muffled when Mother flicks her wrist and causes a glass wall to rise between us. Delora. Hildir! Delora's voice sounds as if it is echoing from far away. Hildir. Quiet! Parfait holds up her hand and magic begins to sparkle at her fingertips. Before she can form any sort of spell, Mother twirls her fingers and tightens Waltz's magic bindings. Waltz cries out in pain as he collapses to the floor. Lucette. Waltz! Parfait. Hildir, please stop this! Parfait approaches the glass wall and places a palm on top of it. Parfait. Are you not growing tired of this, Hildir? The humans have already suffered so much for what they have done in the past. Is that still not enough? Hildir. Humans are fickle creatures, and that is why they cannot be trusted. Nothing can ever change how I perceive them anymore, Faye. There is a shadow of sadness on Mother's face, but it is only momentary. Hildir. I cherished the humans, even respected them, yet they destroy my kind out of fear for some silly story. If it had not been for that human bard, it would never have come to this. Parfait. Hans has already paid dearly for his mistakes when a witch murdered him. But you know just as well as I that he was trying to mend his mistakes. Mother stomps her feet on the floor with a scowl. Hildir. His death has changed nothing. Parfait. Hildir. Hildir. Silence, Faye. You will never understand the feeling of being feared and hated. Mother turns to me again, her eyes cold. Hildir. Now, are you ready to return what is rightfully mine, Lucette? Lucette. I look at Parfait and Delora, then at Waltz. Lucette, thinking to herself. I cannot give my powers back to Mother, not when I know what she will do once she is the Tenebrarum bearer again. But I cannot let her kill Waltz either. Hildir. If these fools here had not changed you, I would have had no qualms about letting you remain the Tenebrarum bearer. I raised you to be the perfect queen. All that I did to prepare you for the crown. Mother knows best. Alright, there, I see what they did. They're straight out calling out Tangled, or referencing Tangled. Lucette. Mother! Thinking to herself. That's it! If I can pretend that I am on her side, then maybe I can buy enough time to save Waltz. Maybe Parfait will come up with an idea. I glance at Waltz. My heart aches when our gazes meet once again. Lucette, thinking to herself. Forgive me, Waltz, but this is the only plan I have right now. I take a deep breath as I face Mother once again. Lucette. You are right. I should have listened to you. Hildir. Lucette. Lucette. I want to go back to the way we were, Mother. And, like, this will work, is the thing. So I'm just saying this, sorry, as the player, but I feel like this is actually the best play Lucette could possibly have made, because we know from Fritz's route that, like, her mother's feelings for her are, like, Hildir's love for Lucette is the last piece of love that exists in her heart. Like, it wasn't enough to keep her from hurting Lucette a lot, quite, and, you know, both emotionally and, like, in some other versions physically, but on some level she did love her, and it's the only path left to appeal to her, I think. At least if you're trying to appeal to anything resembling a better nature in her. Waltz. What are you doing? Delora. Lucette! I ignore Waltz and Delora's voices and focus only on Mother. Lucette. You have always been right, Mother. I remember the disdained looks the people gave me earlier. Lucette. Even after I saved everyone, they still wished I would die. I was so scared. Hildir. Yes, now you see, I only wanted to protect you from those cruel humans, my daughter. Lucette, thinking to herself. You kept me away from everyone. I was alone. Out loud. I am sorry, Mother. I am really sorry. Thinking to herself. I am sorry, but you need to go back to sleep forever. Only then do I realize that I am crying. Not because I need her forgiveness, but because there is no helping her. The only way to help my mother is to make her disappear. She cannot be saved anymore. That's fair. I know I just said, like, her love for Lucette is the last leg on which you could possibly appeal to her, but I think she's right. Like, it's way too late for Hildir. She can't go back to how she was before the witch hunts and before her sorrow and hatred twisted her into what she is now. She's right. Anyway, Lucette. I just wanted to be loved and accepted. Mother stands up from the throne and slowly walks toward me, her arms spread. Hildir. And in my arms you will always be. Parfait. Lucette, the Marchand accepted you for who you are. Lucette. No. You were all forced to accept me because you knew what would happen if I stayed the way I was. You were afraid that I would end up like Mother. Parfait. Lucette. Lucette. You were right. I am like my mother. We are related by blood, after all. Hildir. You are right, Lucette. You are sweet and perfect and wonderfully obedient, as any daughter ought to be. Lucette. I was blinded by the Marchand's lies once, but I now realize that no one loves me as you do, Mother. Waltz. Lucette. The pain in Waltz's voice is unbearable, but I do not look at him. I do not flinch away when Mother stops in front of me and wraps her arms around me. Gone is the warmth I thought I felt whenever she hugged me. Right now, Mother's embrace is as cold as ice. Lucette. Will you still accept me, Mother? Hildir. Of course, Lucette. When Mother pulls back, the smile on her face is bright and beautiful. Lucette, thinking to herself. This is how I remember her. Filled with love for me. Hildir. I knew you would return to me. There are so many things I have planned for the two of us, but you need to prove yourself worthy of my love and trust once more. Lucette, thinking to herself. What? Mother's eyes gleam. Hildir. Prove to me that you choose me, my darling. Mother turns around and gestures to Waltz. Kill the traitor. My heart sinks. This wasn't part of the plan. Lucette, thinking to herself. What should I do now? I know that one offensive spell, but I do not want to hurt Waltz. But... Waltz. You haven't perfected it yet, but what you can do is enough to hurt and paralyze your enemy for a short time. Lucette, thinking to herself. I can pretend to cast it on Waltz, and direct it at Mother. Waltz told me before that it is impossible to cast 2 shields at the same time. Mother already has one shield up, so she cannot cast another shield on herself unless she dispels the first. But with the two of us being so close, I'm likely to hurt myself as well. I close my eyes, mind set. Lucette, thinking to herself. This is not the time to worry about myself. I just have to hope that this opening is big enough to give everyone the opportunity that they need. Out loud. For you, Mother, I will do anything. I extend my hand and allow the energy to gather in my fingertips. Hildir. Impressive that you were able to learn this deadly and painful a magic in such a short span of time. This spell will be a befitting end for the traitor. Parfait. Lucette, don't! Parfait attempts to break down the glass wall separating us with a spell, but it only cracks the surface. Hildir. By the time you destroy that wall, it will be too late, Faye. Delora. You can't do this, Lucette! Delora has now joined Parfait in trying to destroy the wall that Mother has built. I ignore them and focus back on my spell until I feel the familiar current of energy pulsate in my arms. Hildir. It is ready. Now, say goodbye to that traitor. Lucette. Goodbye. I hold out my hand to Mother just as I release the energy. Mother. I do not give Mother any time to react. The electricity crackles in the air just as the spell makes contact with her body. Because we are so close to each other, I too feel the impact of electricity as it trickles through me. I collapse on the ground, tears in my eyes. Lucette thinking to herself, It hurts so much! Waltz. Lucette! Hildir. How could you do this, Lucette? I blink away my tears to see Mother lying on the floor opposite me, her face filled with rage as she looks at me. Out of the corner of my eyes, I notice that the glass wall has disappeared and Waltz is already on his way toward me. The bindings made of light are gone. Waltz lifts me up, then moves to one of the corners of the room. The sensation of pain spreading throughout my body is like being pricked with hundreds of needles. Waltz tucks my hair back, his features creased with worry. Parfait walks to where Mother is and casts a binding spell around her while Delora rushes to my side. Delora. That was a dangerous stunt you pulled, Lucette. Lucette. It was the only thing I could think of. I blink away tears as I feel another fit of pain. Lucette thinking to herself, This is all I could manage. Waltz. Lucette, hang in there! I look at Parfait with pleading eyes. Lucette. Parfait, please, end this. Please save Mother from herself. Parfait. Silence. Parfait slowly stands and walks toward Mother. Hildir. I was the only one who truly loved you, Lucette, yet you did this to me! Do you really think that these fools cared about you as much as I did? Lucette thinking to herself. No, you are wrong. I had people who loved me, but you took them away from me. I refuse to let you steal away any more of them. I don't know why she didn't say that out loud, but because it's, like, really legit. Like, yeah. Parfait stretches out her hand. Her whole body begins to emit a soft glow. Parfait. I wish it didn't have to end this way, Hildir. Hildir. You are making a big mistake, protecting the humans who destroyed my kind, Faye. Parfait. You are no different than those humans, Hildir. Violence does not beget more violence. Wait, wouldn't she be saying that violence does beget more violence? Anyway, I only agree with Parfait right now at this point, because as the person who was defending the race that was, like, literally, like, hit by a genocide, I don't like comparing Hildir to the people who committed the witch genocide, but I think at this point she is far worse than any remaining humans. But she is what they made her. So, it's not all on her. Oops, that was the wrong button. I was trying to change the light. But yes, there we go. I can feel the tears on my cheeks as I look at Mother's still form. Waltz. Lucette, you don't have to see this. Lucette. But I... Waltz puts a hand over my eyes, blinding me. Waltz. You've already seen enough darkness. I can feel an explosion of energy around me. A chilling current runs through the air, carrying Mother's scream to my ears. A soft energy begins to flow through my body. Lucette, thinking to herself, Mother's power from the Tenebraro. Mother is gone. When Waltz draws his hand away and I am able to glance at where Mother was just moments ago, there is nothing but specks of silver dust. Parfait stands over the ashes, crying. Parfait, I am so sorry. Another shockwave of pain courses through my body. This time I feel it attack my consciousness. I feel myself fading away. Waltz. Lucette! Lucette. Let me sleep, just for a little while. Oh no, this is probably going to be one of her rare happy memories with her mother. Oh goodness. Hildir. One day you will become a queen, my love. Young Lucette. Just like Mother? Hildir. Yes, just like me. Young Lucette. Will you be there when I become queen? Hildir. Of course. I will always be by your side. Young Lucette. Forever? Hildir. Forever. Young Lucette. I love you, Mother. Hildir. I love you too, Lucette. Oh my goodness. Don't mind me. All good. All fine. Alright. And 1 sec. I'm gonna adjust some lighting issues. Alright. When I open my eyes, the first thing I see is Waltz. He is leaning over me, anxiety clearly etched onto his face. Lucette. Waltz? Waltz. Thank goodness, you're finally awake. I slowly inspect my surroundings, only to realize that I am back in my old room at the Marchen. I try to remember how I got here, but my memories are hazy. Lucette. What happened? Waltz. You passed out and have been sleeping for 3 days. Lucette. 3 days? I push myself up on the bed and wince. My body is unusually heavy. Waltz places his hands on my shoulders and gently eases me back onto the pillows. Waltz. You're still weak. You need to rest more. I close my eyes and try to remember what happened. Lucette, thinking to herself. That's right. I was trying to save Waltz from Mother. Parfait and Delora came to save us, and then... Out loud. It is over. I open my eyes and stare at Waltz. Right? Waltz reaches for my hand, smiling as he gently squeezes it. Waltz. Yes. My vision blurs as tears begin to sting my eyes. Lucette. I hope Mother is in a better place now. A place where she doesn't have to suffer anymore. Waltz leans over and kisses my forehead. Waltz. I'm sure she is. Waltz begins to fill me in on the details of everything that transpired after I passed out. Alcaster was officially declared dead. At first there was a commotion as the people considered what Mother would do now that she wore the crown. Their worries only stopped when they found out Mother was truly gone. Fritz was locked up on account of being a possible danger to everyone. Everyone has been waiting for a verdict from me to decide what to do with him. I fall asleep not long after Waltz's explanation. I mean, obviously now that she's the Tenebraro bearer, she can just break the curse and Fritz will be fine and everything will be fine. When I open my eyes again, I am alone in my room. I shiver as I sit up, head foggy. I rub my hands over my arms in an attempt to will away some of the cold. Lucette, thinking to herself. Something feels off. I slowly step out of bed and begin to head for the door, but before I even lay my hand on the knob, the door opens on its own. Parfait. Oh, you're finally awake. Lucette. Parfait. Parfait. I don't think you should be up and about right now. You should still be resting. Parfait leads me back to the bed. Parfait. How are you feeling? I look at Parfait's face and realize how paper white her skin has become. The circles under her eyes are even darker than they were before. Lucette. Tired, but I will be fine. But you do not look well. Parfait. I will be fine. I wanted to talk to you today if you're feeling up to listening. Lucette. What is this all about? Parfait. I wanted to apologize for forcing you to shoulder the heavy burden caused by our mistakes, both Hildir's and mine. Back then, I did not have the heart to stop Hildir. If I had only defeated her then, none of this would have happened. Parfait reaches out and cups my face in her hands. Parfait. Your dedication and kindness saved us all, Lucette. The future will be brighter with you as the Tenebrarum's bearer. Lucette. But what if I become corrupted by the darkness? What if... Parfait places a finger on my lips and smiles. Parfait. No, you are different, Lucette. Unlike Hildir, you are surrounded by people who love you. Those people are filled with light, light that will drive away whatever darkness invades your heart. That's why I know you'll be all right. Parfait smiles at me gently. It is a beautiful, shining one that glows bright even as I begin to notice that the rest of Parfait's body is fading. Oh, I guess that's fair. She just hit her limits. Is there gonna be another Lucis bearer though? Or like, we never met another fairy. I guess somebody will inherit it. Lucette, shocked. Parfait, your body is... Parfait's smile becomes melancholy. Parfait. I thought I would start to disappear soon. My heart aches as I hold tight to Parfait's arm with shaking hands. Lucette. What are you saying? Parfait. Fairies and witches do not age physically and live longer, but that does not mean we are perfectly immortal. The body can only take so much damage before it finally withers away. Lucette. But you can't disappear! You said before you had no heir! Oh. Parfait. Because that is what I wanted everyone to believe. Don't worry, Lucette. When I'm gone, one of my relatives will take over the responsibilities of bearer. Tears well up in my eyes as I stare at Parfait. Lucette. I have already lost too many people, Parfait. I cannot lose you too. We were going to work together to bring back balance between the crystals. You still have so much to teach me. Parfait. I'm sorry, Lucette. I would have loved to stay with you a bit longer, but my time here is up. Parfait continues to grow more translucent, even as my hands slip through her arms. I try to reach for her again, but I can no longer touch her. Lucette. Parfait! Parfait. I already said my farewells to everyone else early. You are the last and most important person I must say goodbye to. Thank you for putting everything to rest, Lucette. Parfait closes her eyes, her lips still curled into a gentle smile, even as she begins to fade into pure light. Lucette. Parfait! No! I reach for her again, but when I pull my hands back, they are covered in golden dust. The gentle dust floats in the air before me where Parfait was moments ago. Parfait. Be strong and be kind. Lucette. Whew. Alright. Hopefully that's the last sad death of this route. Oh man, the one that hits hardest though is still that she lost her father. Like, her losing her mother was upsetting. For her, like, of course it was, you know, of course she cried. Like, her mother meant a lot to her. That was very emotional. Like, she knew it needed to happen, but that doesn't mean she isn't allowed to be sad and grieve. And, like, it's obvious why Lucette is sad about the loss of Parfait, but if I'm being 100% honest, I'm like, nah, that tracks. She was clearly at the end of, like, she was unwell. And Delora didn't die, so at least Lucette lost, like, 2 parents and a semi-parental figure, but she has 2 parental figures left, which is Odette, her stepmother, and Delora, her, person with whom she will absolutely probably develop the same motherly-daughterly feeling bond that she did in Fritz's route. Alright. A few days after Parfait's passing, I went back to my training. My goal was to expel everyone's fairy tale curses once and for all. After more than a week of intensive training with Waltz and Delora, I am able to completely dispel the fairy tale curse from the Crystallum Tenebrarum. Now the fairy tale curse is non-existent, and I cannot be cast again in Angiel. This is only one of the first steps I take in dismantling all of the damage Mother has done, but it is a step forward. And now, with that done, I feel it is time to return to the palace. As the only blood heir to the throne, I have a responsibility to uphold and a promise to fulfill. Ophelia, Rod, and Emmeline returned to the palace a couple of days ago. Jurian and Garland went with them so that they could act as security. Fritz has been pardoned and now resumes his duties at the palace, only he is no longer my personal knight. I opted to stay behind so I could spend one last day with everyone in the tavern. Now, as I stand here in the tavern, I realize how many friends I have made over the last few months. I never thought I would be so sad to part from all of these people, but now that everything is back to normal, we have no reason to stay in the March End together, day in and day out. Lucette. Annis, are you sure you do not want to try working in the palace again? You would make a wonderful royal chef. Annis. Thank you so much for the offer, Princess, but as much as I love to cook, I think I'd prefer working more with medicine. I would like to train under Chevalier so I can one day become a doctor. Oh right, because she broke everyone's curses, so now we know it, so we now know his real name. People are probably still adjusting to that one. I look at Rumple, Chevalier, as he flashes a smile at me. When his curse was dispelled, he remembered his real name, Chevalier. It had been difficult to get used to it. Not only that, but his personality has mellowed somewhat. Lucette. Take good care of Annis. Chevalier. But of course! Lucette. And I hope next time we meet you will not try... Sorry, that was a little bit too much Hildir. Lucette. And I hope next time we meet you will not try to flirt with me. Chevalier snorts and crosses his arms, but I see a hint of mischief as he smiles. Chevalier. I'll try my best, though I make no promises. I roll my eyes at him, and he responds with an easy laugh. I, too, am soon laughing along with him. Karma. Ah, a laughing princess. What a sight for sore eyes. This will definitely take some getting used to. I scowl at him. Lucette. Seeing you in men's clothing will take some getting used to as well. Karma. Well, try your best to not fall for my handsome face. Lucette. Right. So, what are you planning to do? Karma looks away and rubs the back of his neck. Karma. Well, I'll go back to my kingdom and hope that I don't find my name on a gravestone. Either way, I have a lot of explaining to do. Lucette. Delora, where will you go now? Delora. Well, for starters, I plan on talking to all of the good witches I know who are still in hiding. I'm sure they'll be happy to know they can finally come back to Angiel. They'll be even happier to know we have a capable bearer. Lucette, thinking to herself. Bearer. My heart sinks as I remember Parfait. Lucette, thinking to herself. If she were still here, she would be talking about how we both need to do our best to maintain the balance between the crystals. Out loud. What if I fail at being a capable bearer? To Laura. Impossible, especially with Waltz there by your side. Oh, but speaking of which, where is Waltz? All of us glance around at the circle. He left so quietly none of us had even realized. Lucette. I'll go look for him. I move first to the forest, feeling that he might be in there seeking some kind of quiet solace. Sure enough, I find him there staring up at the sky, with his eyes full of melancholy. Lucette. Waltz? Waltz. Oh. Hi there, little star. Are we leaving now? Lucette. We will be leaving soon. You suddenly disappeared, so I came to look for you. Waltz's lips tug into a smile tinged with sadness. Waltz. Sorry, I just thought the sky was so clear today. I had to come out and marvel at it. Lucette, thinking to herself. That is not a very convincing lie. Waltz looks up again, his smile slipping. Lucette. Waltz, are you all right? Really all right? Waltz. I'm a little sad. Lucette. Sad? Waltz. Hildir killed my family when I was still young. I've been yearning to be part of a family again ever since then. When we became friends so long ago, you were the closest thing to family that I had. When we were pulled apart, I met Lady Parfait and was accepted at the Marchen. Now that it's time to leave everyone, I realize how sad I am. I've lived here since I was first cursed. Everyone in the Marchen has become my family. I move to stand beside him, then reach out to take his hand. His fingers weave their way through mine. Waltz. I owe Lady Parfait so much. She gave me a family and reunited us. Lucette. I owe her a lot too. Waltz turns to me and smiles. Waltz. Sorry if I worried you. Shall we go back to the palace now? Lucette. The palace? Not before you say your own goodbyes. Waltz. I was planning on it. I just had to compose myself out here first. Lucette, thinking to herself. Compose? It's hard to imagine Waltz in tears. Out loud. Well then, we will say our goodbyes, and then you can open one of your portals. Waltz. How about we walk to the palace? Lucette, shocked. I shrink back at his suggestion. Lucette. You know how much the townspeople despise me. Thinking to herself. I know it is important that I build a relationship with them before I become their new queen, but I do not think I am ready for that yet. Waltz's smile is reassuring. Waltz. Oh, but I have something important to show you in town. Lucette. Something important? Waltz. You'll see when we get there. Lucette. But... Waltz brings his hand to my lips and kisses my knuckles. Waltz. I'll be by your side, little star, so there is nothing to fear. I stare at Waltz for a few moments before finally nodding my head. Hello, Johnny! You've come in at the happy ending part of things and not the sad lead up to the happy ending. So, be prepared for some tears if you watch back the VOD. There were definitely some sad things. Or at the very least, I hope that my voice acting capabilities can bring people to tears. Certainly the game brought me to tears. But now we're on the happy ending, so this is a fun, nice time to come in. Lisa. Okay. We return to the Marchen temporarily to say our final farewells. And I mean, they're making a whole thing about how it's sad that they're leaving the Marchen, and it is. Like, they were, like, living there and they won't anymore, and they'll see much less of the people who were there, but, like, if the game isn't gonna say it, I am, they're gonna stay in touch with those people. I know, right, Johnny? Thank goodness for happy endings. We return to the Marchen temporarily to say our final farewells. After that, Waltz and I walk into town in silence. I am in awe as we enter the plaza. Oh, I hope there's going to be a CG of whatever they did. I was assuming there's some kind of, like, celebration thing or something. Yes! I notice immediately that something is different. There are lily decorations hanging all around the square and through the streets. We sat thinking to herself, I wonder why all these lilies are here. The people in the immediate vicinity turn to look at me, their conversation going silent as they notice me. Lucette thinking to herself, it is as I thought. Of course they still fear me. Girl, big sister! I turn at the sound of the voice and notice one of the little girls that I played with once before running towards us. She almost makes it to us before a woman I assume to be her mother pulls her back. I am surprised when the mother hands her daughter a bouquet of lilies and whispers something to her before releasing her. The little girl nods before running up to me. I bend down so that we are at eye level and am shocked when she suddenly throws her arms around my neck. Lucette, shocked. Girl, thank you, big sister! The girl pulls back and hands me the bouquet of lilies. Girl, my mama says to thank you as well. I stare at her, still baffled, before glancing at her mother. The woman nods to me, then dips into a soft bow. I take the bouquet from the girl and stand up. I can only stare on, still shocked, as more townspeople approach me with lilies in their hands. Lucette, Waltz, what is going on? Waltz, this is what I wanted to show you. Lucette, huh? Waltz, the townspeople have been planning this for days. They asked me to make sure you passed through town on this day so that they could give you their message. Lucette, message? I turn back to the people gathered around me and notice that they are all still holding the flowers with bright smiles on their faces. The silence is gone, replaced by excited chattering and bright laughter. Manet, on the count of 3! He starts counting, and at the end of his countdown, the townsfolk throw the flowers up into the air. The delicate petals flutter down on Waltz and I, showering us in gentle color. Then all at once, they begin to say the same phrase, their voices mingling to create the most harmonious and overwhelming greeting I have ever received. The people, thank you! Sorry, I was hoping the booming voice would get across. I can't do multiple people's voices, obviously, but I love this. This is lovely. Manet, you risked your life to save all of us, despite how we treated you. Woman A, we misjudged you, Your Highness. Please forgive us. Woman B, we knew we had to give you a grand thank you for all you'd done for us, so we planned this. Lucette, so the lily decorations. Waltz, they're a celebration of you, the soon-to-be queen. Lucette, shocked. I feel tears gathering in my eyes, and I quickly wipe them away with the back of my hand. Lucette, but there is nothing to apologize for. I was the one at fault. Man B, we judged you harshly, and we had no right to. Woman B, the past doesn't matter anymore. We've all decided to change for the better. Man A, from now on you have our full cooperation. Just as we helped the previous king, so too shall we help you, Your Highness. Lucette, everyone, thank you. I will do my best to continue the reign of peace my father started. The people's eyes are filled with hope as they hand over lily bouquets. My hands are quickly filled, and Waltz ends up having to take the majority of them. We continue towards the palace, the crowd cheering behind us. I'm having emotions! Good emotions this time! I guess it made me cry a second time, but with different emotions. Nicer emotions to cry from. It has been 2 months since I returned to the palace. Since then, I have been working non-stop so that I can better familiarize myself with running a kingdom. I have been studying day and night, trying to broaden my knowledge of the kingdom. I've had help from many people, and I have come a long way. Today, I was officially crowned the new Queen of Angiel. My determination has only grown since then. I have been trying to take my responsibilities as seriously as I possibly can. But for the time being, I have space to breathe. A dinner celebration has been planned for tonight, and I am on my way to my room to prepare. Lucette. Everyone will be there. I cannot wait to see them again. Emmeline. Lucette! I turn to see Emmeline running toward me. I notice that Rod is trailing behind her. Lucette. What's the matter? You seem to be in a hurry. Emmeline. What's the matter? The party is in a few hours, and you are still not dressed. Rod. This really isn't so dire a circumstance. Lucette. Thinking to herself. It has been months, but it is still so strange to hear Rod's voice actually coming from his own mouth. Sebi. Please calm down, Emmeline. Even though Rod has his voice back, he still keeps Sebi with him. The stuffed rabbit sometimes throws in little comments here and there. Emmeline. But it is! This event is very important. Lucette. It will not take me 2 hours to prepare, Emmeline. What's that? Ugh. Alright. Emmeline. But it might! You're the queen now, and you must look regal tonight. I don't know, I feel like I didn't quite get Emmeline's voice. I'm gonna try reading that one more time. But it might! You're the queen now, and you must look regal tonight. I raise an eyebrow at her. Lucette. 2 hours is a little excessive, and I am not planning to do anything overly special tonight. Emmeline. But don't you want to at least look pretty for Waltz? Lucette. What are you talking about? Aww, Emmeline. Mother and I want to make you shine so bright, Waltz won't be able to take his eyes off of you. Oh, I mean, I think he would have had that problem no matter how she looked, but yeah. Lucette. Emmeline. Emmeline. I won't take no for an answer this time. She turns to Rod with a mischievous grin. We'll be done soon. I'll see you later, Rod. Without waiting for my reply, Emmeline grabs my hands and pulls me into my room. Ophelia. And with that, I am done. Lucette, thinking to herself. I cannot believe it took so long just to put on makeup. I did not think making myself up like this would be enjoyable, but doing this with Ophelia and Emmeline was fun. You know what? I can relate to this on multiple levels. Like, I am not a person who does makeup very much in my daily life. The only time I've really done any significant makeup in the past, for the most part, was for, like, theater stuff. I would do, sometimes do costume makeup and stuff. But I had this experience at my wedding, and similarly, I was like, goodness, this takes a long time. Not just the makeup, but, like, makeup and hair and dress and everything. And I had a similar, oh my, this takes such a long time, but it was also a nice time because I had, like, all my wedding party, well, not all, like, several members of my wedding party with me. And the person who kindly did my hair and who was a friend. And yeah, so I had lovely people with me, and it was a lot of fun, and it took way longer than I thought. My wedding was, like, started half an hour late, but that's kind of expected, I think. So, anyway, so yeah, sorry, I'm just, like, reflecting back on, spending, like, an excessive amount of time to get prepared for a big event that, in a way that one is not used to. I can relate. Emmeline. You look so beautiful, Lucette. You really do look the part of a queen. Lucette. Isn't this too much? Ophelia. Not at all. You should take pride in doing yourself up like this sometimes. You have a lovely face, Lucette. Lucette. If you insist. Emily. Now that we've helped you, we need to help ourselves. The celebration is just around the corner. Ophelia. We'll see you later, dear. Lucette. Ophelia? Em? They both stop right in front of the door. Lucette. Thank you. For everything. Ophelia. Of course. This is what families do, Lucette. The two smile at me one last time before they exit the room. I stand up and head for the balcony. I assume we won't actually get to see her face until we get like a CG. I think that's what the images are called. I stand up and head for the balcony. The cool air is refreshing on my skin. Lucette. Father, if you had also been here, tonight would have been perfect. Waltz. Lucette? Lucette. Come in. Waltz. I've come to let you know that everyone has arrived early. Waltz comes to an abrupt stop when he sees me. He openly stares at me, mouth slightly opened in awe. My face warms up. Yes, they were right. I mean, he would have been unable to take his eyes off her anyway, as I said. But, like, you know, nothing like seeing the person you love done up all pretty. Done up all extra pretty, I should say, because, of course, she's always pretty. Lucette. What? Waltz. Waltz turns his face away, his face deep red. Waltz. You look beautiful tonight. Lucette. Thank you. A gentle smile forms on Waltz's lips as he approaches. He stops in front of me, gently tracing my cheek with one of his fingers. His touch leaves a trail of warmth on my cool skin. Waltz. My star is shining brighter tonight. Waltz holds out his hand. Waltz. May I have this dance, my lady? I cannot help but giggle as I place my hand in his. Before the dance even starts, Waltz has suddenly wrapped an arm around my waist. He tilts me downward with a smile. Yes! Oh my gosh. Oh, that's such a cool dress. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love this so much. Alright, I don't know that there's a way to, like, make the bar disappear, but I'm gonna just take a second here. So first of all, save that. And then I want to see if I have now unlocked that and we can look at it in the gallery, because that's such a good image and I just want to, like, gaze upon it for a little before we finish. Yes! Oh! She does look super pretty. Oh, I love that dress. Oh. This is just, oh, I have emotions. This is such a good, such a good visual. I am really, really, really here for this. And I love that dress. It's so sparkly. I want a sparkly dress. It's so pretty. Alright, alright. Back to the story. Lucette. Waltz! Waltz draws closer to me, his lips pulling up in a mischievous smile. Waltz. I'm lucky to be the first man to see you tonight, but I don't like the idea of other men seeing you as you are. I'm gonna be awfully jealous. I'm going to assume he is being entirely facetious, because I don't think jealousy's cute, but maybe that's just me. Some people do. But I don't think he's gonna be, like, super seriously. At worst, he'll be like, oh, I wish I could just save this for myself. But not, like, super negative type of jealousy. I give him a teasing smile. Lucette. Are you worried that someone will take me away from you? Waltz. Not really. Should I be? Lucette. You know my feelings for you will never change. Waltz. And you know that I will always love you, no matter what. The two of us are frozen in time. I feel like I could stand here looking into Waltz's eyes like this forever. Waltz. I love you, Lucette. Lucette. I love you too, Waltz. Is that the end? Because I loved it. I loved it so much. Yay. Oh, that was so good. Yes, all right. Waltz's route, hands down, best route. Like, unequivocally. The only thing that really sucks and is sad about Waltz's route is the part where her dad dies, because that's tragic as all heck. I mean, as she said, if only her dad were there, the night would be perfect. But everyone else gets a happy ending. Like, I mean, Hildir couldn't have a happy ending, and Parfait, like, you know, people are sad about that. People are sad about her father, and she's still gonna grieve her mother. I'm just sort of enjoying letting this play with all the imagery and stuff. But yeah, you know, it's really easy to play out a happy ending for everyone, because, like, she did lose her dad, and that's never not going to be sad, but she's got her stepfamily who loves her very much, and who she is, like, forming a much closer, better relationship with. I am loving these CGs going by as I'm commenting on this. She's got a happily ever after with the guy she loves. And this wasn't an ending where magic had to be removed from the world. Magic is just fixed now. The balance is fixed, and honestly, I think her being the new queen and everyone knowing she's a witch is gonna do more to restore the... Like, I think that will be what it takes to fully restore the image of witches. Anyone who is like, oh, witches are evil, will be like, but our queen is great! How could witches be evil when our queen and probable eventual king consort are both witches and they're awesome? And will almost certainly, like, have a long, peaceful reign, and everyone will love them, and they will go down in history, and they will fix... Oh, wait, sorry. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a princess. She was known as the Ice Princess, named for her friggin' hell. Sorry, I need to... Then one day, the Ice Princess became the victim of the infamous fairy tale curse and was this is going too fast. As the princess struggled to come to terms with her new life, she met a very special man. The two endured much strife, helping each other overcome various ordeals. In the end, they emerged victorious. The special man thawed the princess's ice-cold heart and dried her dampened spirits. The two vowed to love each other for the rest of time. They lived happily ever after. Sorry, I tried. Couldn't quite keep up on the dialogue in that. Oh, is this a preview for the epilogue? What happens ever after? Voice. Are you ready to go, Lucette? Lucette. I'm coming. Ooh, nice. Nice art. Lucette. Sorry to keep you waiting. Now, shall we go? Yeah, this is an ad for Evermore. Well, actually, maybe not specifically, because it didn't say that, but that was the end, and then also leads in really nicely to Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore, which is the sequel game and / fandisc, kind of. And yeah. Oh, I got the achievement Evening Star for finishing Waltz's good route, and also Happy Ever After for finishing all the good routes. And on my own, I'm gonna probably go play the bad routes just so I can see the storyline and like get all the achievements, but I didn't want to do that on stream because I don't like sad endings. I like happy endings, and this was a very happy ending. Anyway, so I'm gonna go back off on my long tangent about how everything's gonna be happily ever after for them, and like, so I think where I had gotten up to was the idea that Lucette and Waltz will eventually get married. She'll be queen, he'll be king consort, and they will have a super long, peaceful, happy reign. Everyone's going to love them. And then, because their reign will go down in history as a wonderful, peaceful time, and they're both witches, that will just be the thing that was needed to fix the public image of witches, and then witches won't be hated and feared anymore, and everything will be great. And it will fix all of the old problems, and somewhere out there, maybe Lucette's mother, finally at peace, can smile down on them. I mean, as can her mother. I'm very happy to see. But anyway, and the other thing is, so I am also going to headcanon. So, you know, Rod is young. He's got his whole life ahead of him. I'm not worried about him in terms of, like, people I want to pair off. Rumple doesn't need to have a relationship, but, like, him and Annis could potentially be cute. But also, I love him going off, you know, back to his doctor's practice and Annis becoming his assistant. Like, even if they just are friends, that's, like, a delightful... I love that ending for them. Obviously, Jurian and Garland have come back to the palace, have been reinstated as guards, and they're gonna fall, you know, they're already in love, so they're gonna get married eventually too, and it'll be a big affair, and all the Marchand people will come out to see it. Karma, who, you know, unclear what'll happen when he goes back to his kingdom, but, like, obviously, his country and Angiel will be on great terms, and it will be very good, and they will have a lovely, peaceful, excellent international relationship. And my headcanon for what happens with Fritz is that he still, you know, he remains friends with Lucette. He remains someone that she can go to as a confidant. And he, like, my headcanon for him is that he'll end up with Emmeline. Because, like, you know, he's gonna have to, he's loved Lucette for a long time, but, like, he'll see her and Waltz being very happy, and he'll be happy for her, and he'll have to move on, and, you know, it'll hurt, but he'll get past it. And we already know that Emmeline really kind of has possibly a little proto-crush on him, and I think they would be lovely together. And so eventually he'll move on from Lucette, and then he'll end up in a cute relationship with Emmeline, and that is my headcanon for his happy future in the true ending. So yeah, so anyway, alright, I think I am done with my headcanoning their lovely happy futures. So yeah, this game was amazing and I loved it. I loved every bit of it. Oh man, and you know, thank you Johnny, and thank you everyone who's been, like, you know, watching along, you know, bits and pieces of, you know, not just this stream, but, like, you know, thank you to Johnny and to Pao and Pukara for, you know, supporting me through my streaming. This is, like, one of the first games I started streaming, and so it's, like, kind of end of a era for my stream. Can't beat it for value for money, right? Yeah, I mean, this game, totally free. Yes, by the way, this game is totally free, so if you want to go back and play it yourself, go find it on Steam. It's a great game. And I also I haven't seen Iced Army in a while, and I'm not sure that they'll be back, but, you know, if you watch this on YouTube, I just want to say thank you so much. I loved you being part of so much of my Cinderella phenomenon journey. It was a lot of fun. And let's see, any other thank yous? Like, thank you to all of my followers and everyone who has ever watched any of these videos, obviously everyone who's watched this video, and bye Johnny! And yeah, so end of an era with my stream, but yeah, so this is the end of Cinderella Phenomenon. Next week, oh, right, so a couple big things about future plans. I am going to keep doing a Monday stream, but I am actually going to switch it to every other week. I don't know if I'm going to start that right away though, because the first thing I want to do is, no, I think I will start it. So I will be taking next week off, and I'm thinking I'm gonna alternate it with, well, actually, I haven't decided. I might keep my anime stream. Okay, anyway, I haven't totally decided everything, so, you know, check my Discord if you're, you know, if you're on it, and if you're not, consider joining my Discord, my group Discord with Johnny and Pukara and Tapao. We each have our own sections. But yeah, so I will talk more about there once I've finalized all of my plans, but the biggest one is definitely Mondays I plan to keep, but switch to every other week instead of every week. The next game I'm gonna play is gonna be, I'm going to go back to my Scarlet Hollow nonsense. Don't mind the alarm sounds out my window. So I'm gonna go back to my Scarlet Hollow nonsense until I've gotten through all 4 runs I'm trying to do for it. And then I plan to move on. And so I'm hoping that, especially since I'm doing every other week, I'm hoping that'll take up my, get me through until February and March. It should. Because I want to take, well, not want to. April, I'm going to be gone or busy for the vast majority of the month of April, so I'll be pretty much taking April off. So we're getting into long-term planning here. So for the next 2 months, Mondays will be Scarlet Hollow, and it will be every other instead of every. And then I'm going to keep the every other probably, but after April and I finally start to have time to stream again, I plan to play Arcadia Fallen. I think I said Arcadia earlier, but the full title is Arcadia Fallen, which is another fun visual novel game that Tapao previously played through on stream after I introduced it to her. So I look forward to finally finding the time to play that on stream. So yeah, alright, that's my future plans, but so I should be back this Friday for my NES stream, and maybe not with, oh hi Six Card! I'm actually just ending, we just finished the last chapter of this, but it's lovely to see you. So I was gonna say, so I'll be doing my usual NES stream on Friday, but I'm gonna try it at a slightly earlier time, so I'm gonna try going back to noon to 2 and see if that time works better for me. And hopefully we'll be doing some multiplayer streaming, but as always, that's up in the air until we get to the day of. And then I will be back, not next week for Monday, but the week after for more Scarlet Hollow nonsense. Alright, so thank you everyone who dropped in the stream. Thank you Six Card for dropping by briefly, and only briefly because I'm ending, but thank you. And I will see everyone later.